Bradley Davis. He was a member of Prager Force, the worldwide young people organization, about 15,000 plus members, and now actually works at PragerU. Bradley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So your story is, how did you start politically?
Well, I was actually pretty left-leaning when I started university and in high school. We didn't really talk about politics, but it was a lot more of a social thing when it came to just a whole bunch of different issues, like the LGBTQ community and all of those types of things. We were a very left-leaning school and a left-leaning community. So especially being a music major in university, I was kind of around that all the time. And I just started hearing Ben Shapiro first talking about facts and logic and presenting objective information. And over time, I made my way to the fireside chats and PragerU, and I came closer to God. I came closer to objective reality and conservatism more broadly.
Well, that's a good combination. I will say, where did you go to university?
I went to Cal State Northridge.
Yeah, that's left-leaning. Adam Carolla and I did a program there once, and we were not allowed to do it because I smoked a cigar on stage. So they believe that secondhand smoke in a gigantic auditorium from one cigar about 30 or 40 feet from the nearest person other than Adam would kill people. That's my Northridge experience. We ended up going another time. So what are you doing at PragerU?
So I work with the development team on fundraising. I do support staff, and I also work with Prager Force. So I got to be a member, and now I get to work with all of our wonderful members. And we're actually at 19,000 now, and we have people all over the world, people in China, Taiwan, Israel. It's a wonderful experience getting to meet all these people.
Oh, I can only imagine. That's 19,000 now, and I keep saying 15,000 plus. Well, which is accurate. Plus 4,000. That is something. So how did PragerU affect you? What about it?
Well, first it was the fireside chats, and it was starting to teach me about things like personal responsibility, taking ownership over my life. And these were things that I felt were out of the question before. I used to think that, I was dealt a bad hand of cards and my life's unfair. Things are too difficult. I can't take control of that and take initiative and try to solve my issues. I thought I was just doomed to be little or nothing and not get things done and just be miserable my whole life. But I came to PragerU and I started watching videos about these things, especially Jocko Willink. He does some videos and he talks about how taking ownership over your problems is the only way you're going to solve them. The government, even other people in your life, they're not going to come fix them for you. And it also told me that the biggest problem in my life was myself, the biggest issue that I needed to solve.
All right, I take credit for that one.
That was all you.
Yeah, yes. That's one of my biggest themes of my life. You're the biggest problem in your life. The opposite of the left. You're terrific. America's the biggest problem in your life. That's their message. So I'm going to come back to you in a moment. I'll tell you right now what I'm going to ask you. One is, what's your favorite PragerU video? And make a 30-second case for people donating. During this break, folks, I would ask you to please donate. We are one of the best hopes of a high school student, absolutely high school, is to have them watch the Tim Pool 5-minute video. He appeals to young people overwhelmingly. In fact, I'll bet a lot of you never heard of him, but he's very big. I went to Washington and went on his show. It's a big operation. Another way to introduce your kids is through my fireside chat. It's a half hour each week. I stick to a half hour. There are 480 of them up. And you heard the effect that it had on my guest, Bradley Davis. And it could have it on your high school or college kid. The fireside chat with Dennis Prager. Finally, with you, Bradley, and by the way, I read you're a tuba player. Is that correct?
That's right. I play with the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Band.
How many brass instruments do you play?
I could play trombone and I could probably play trumpet, so maybe three.
What's your favorite?
Tuba by far. Love the tuba.
You know, I have to say, it's not every day you meet somebody who loves the tuba.
Yeah, that's part of the issue with making it in the music industry generally as a tuba player is trying to find people to actually hire you. So,
Well, the problem is, I mean, with band music, it's always used, but of course, in classical music, only a few pieces use it. And same with jazz. I don't know any jazz piece that has a tuba in it. So that's the problem. You're somewhat restricted, obviously. I hear you also play the double bass.
yeah, I've played the double bass and there was one more. Oh, I played the baritone saxophone in jazz band. That's how I got into jazz is through saxophone.
And you read music, obviously.
Yes.
Not everybody in jazz does. They wing it, as it were, which is it's not a knock at all. They're very talented from within. So what's your favorite PragerU video?
It's a tough one, but I'd have to say the episode 214 of the Fireside Chat. It is gratitude is everything. I think there is no greater lesson that has been, I guess, brought to me, shown to me in my life than to have gratitude for everything. For America, for the fact that I have a home to live in, food on my table, just being able to be out of the sun, be out of the rain and the elements, knowing that I have all of that, never mind the million other blessings that I have, makes me infinitely happier, and it allows me to work towards virtue in other ways and allows me to work on improving my life because I know I've had all these great things and there's more to come if I just work hard and follow proper virtues, I believe.
Wow. Wow. So let me say to my audience, the moment you become a grateful person, you have left the left. It is not possible to be a leftist and grateful. You can be a liberal, you could be a conservative, but not a leftist. They not only ingrates, which is one of the lowest forms of humanity, they breed ingratitude. As I have said often, you get a BA in ingratitude, an MA in ingratitude, and a PhD in ingratitude. Those are the degrees you get at our universities. And finally, would you make an appeal? It's fundraising month for PragerU. Take it away. By the way, folks, they don't have a written statement. I don't tell them they're going to have to answer this, although I did right before the break. So go ahead.
I think people should give to PragerU so it can do for other young people what it's done for me. It's given me a sense of responsibility and ownership over my own life and gratitude to God and everyone who's helped me get to where I am today. Before this, I was resentful at the world for dealing what I believed to be an unfair deck of cards. And I thought of myself as a helpless victim controlled by emotion and fear and circumstances and taking no initiative to fix things. But PragerU has taught me that I am the biggest obstacle in my own life and that nobody, especially not the government, is going to swoop in and fix me or my nature or my life. And if PragerU can share this message with a great deal of other young people like me, we can also learn to shoulder that responsibility and be well on the way to saving the country, I think.
Wow. You all do it better than I do.
Thank you.
Bradley, thank you. It's a joy to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. PragerU.com or call 833-PragerU. It's tax deductible, by the way.